Welcome to the F1 2025 Azerbaijan Grand Prix reaction. Songan joined by no one. Yeah, unfortunately, IG is still not back, but he should be back soon. Hopefully, wish him the best. Anyways, let's get back to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And yeah, we've had such a Baku thing that we had a completely chaotic qualifying and followed by fairly boring race with interesting results. But overall, not much has happened during the race, uh, apart from the obvious. But we'll get to that. Well, I'll get to that. Let's get to the predictions straight away. I'll talk about the talking points throughout reacting to our predictions. When it comes to biggest surprise, AJ had Leclerc pole position. He ended up crashing, so not quite. And I had Yuki Tsunoda top 8. That's that's a good one. Getting a point for Yuki in the top 8 we gotta be one of the craziest ones I've had so far. After the whole correct podium, because Tsunoda had such a bad run until this point. Uh, like before scoring points here, he probably finished point back in Imola. It was a long time ago. Well, I think Yuki actually got the point Sandboard. Maybe not. I'm not exactly sure right now, but definitely wasn't in the top 8 since pretty much yeah since he left the Racing Bulls. So yeah, good for Yuki and good for my points as I got a good point from that. Overperformer, Pierre Gasly, not really Oli Behrman as well. Both of them not really visible during the weekend that much. When it comes to the driver, specific driver overperformer, there's quite a few picks. Obviously, there's Max. He pretty much did what Max Verstappen does and just delivered when everyone else didn't. And yeah, but I'm more torn between two other picks. That's Yuki Tsunoda. Uh, as I said, like it is not like overperforming compared to the car they're given, but compared to expectations, compared to the perception that we have of their season. Yuki has had such a bad run of form up until this Grand Prix. We'll see if it continues. Still was like I don't want to say a second, but maybe it was even a second off Max in qualifying, and ended up finishing the race in P6, I think, which is still like pretty mid compared to Max's win when it comes to like a objective point of view. But considering Yuki where it's been, how quick it's been throughout the season, that's one of the biggest surprises, definitely. And obviously the Carlos Sainz pick, and actually honorable mention to Liam Lawson, also been having a little tougher year. Was getting dropped by Red Bull after the two Grand Prix, looking like the number 2 driver at Racing Bulls, and then started getting some good form. Recently, he's been getting a lot of points, and this was another great weekend from Liam. But I'm mostly torn between Sainz and Yuki, and yeah, I think I'll go to Carlos just because how crazy it is to see Williams on the podium once again, and even crazier that it was Carlos. Like after the season he's been having, all the results of all the what ifs, like we've seen so many races where Carlos could have scored points and finished in a good position, but and always something has to happen, whether it was a bad racing incident or whatever, like bad luck, engine problems, even his own errors. He's been having a tough season, but at least there's a nice story here in Baku for him. I would say just because it was a Pui, I would give it to Carlos over Yuki. Yeah, like they've been both they're very similar in the championship next to each other. Podium. I would say yeah, Carlos Casey's for me. Doesn't matter for a point anyway, but I just want to get it out of the way. Underperformer. Yeah, I think there's only one clear option. Obviously, there have been other drivers who had bad weekends, like Alex Sullivan, I picked. But considering all the circumstances, yeah, Alex has been great this season, and it's very rare to see him make a mistake qualifying, finish P20, and then no progress in the race while still in the podium. Actually, when I think about it, probably very close to the other performer, the obvious one, Oscar Piastri, championship leader, has had his worst weekend in Formula One at the place he won last year. So it's kind of crazy. How bad of a weekend he had. He obviously had troubles during practice. His engine was off. Then he had moments just like Lando did. Then obviously qualifying came. He wasn't looking particularly quick. And then obviously the crash. Very, very un-Piastri-like considering the season. And then, yeah, the race even worse. He had a really bad start. He actually jumped the start. Would be given a 5. Well, he was given a 5-second penalty, but he wasn't there to collect it, as he ended up trying to get some desperate moves in, outbrake himself into a wall. Very, very bad for a championship leader. This was not great to look at, and yeah. Like if Ajax was here, probably would talk about it more, but I'm just struggling to really form something concrete, some actual commentary. So just wanted to mention it at least. Maybe we'll talk about it later when he's back. Yeah, between Albon and Piastri. Of course, most people I think would be Piastri. I feel like Alex is also like, yeah. The thing is, he didn't crash the race. He got a penalty. He did. Actually, got a penalty in the race. It was not as bad as Piastri's, but considering what the form he's been in, what he's doing is he was overtaking Mantelli, I believe, in the championship after his race, but he was ahead of a Mercedes. Right? He's obviously ahead of Red Bull seat as well in the championship, way ahead in the points over the midfield. He's having a great season, maybe even better than Piastri when compared to the other cars. Even Piastri already had some bad moments throughout the year and some weaker races. And yeah, we've seen Alex have his worst weekend of the season. I would say his career, not just history. But, yeah, I haven't given myself one per Albon. AJ is not here to argue against that. So, well, unfortunate for him. Perfect team. Williams got a podium. Ferrari was Ferrari, so but it was a good podium, despite one of the other driver having a really, really bad weekend. I would say a podium for a midfield team is a perfect team, even if the other driver would have, well, I don't know how much worse it can get, but in terms of the team, the car had pace, and yeah, the strategy was good as well with Carlos. Alex, he still made some good progress in terms of positions and making it to the points and a penalty. I would say that's not that much on the team as on himself. I'd say Williams managed this Grand Prix really well. That's overall this weekend, and I deserve a perfect team point from me. I would also give honorable mention to Red Bull winning a race, and Yuki being up there as well. Really, really does things. I would say, just like the underperformer, perfect team, I think has two winners: Red Bull and Williams. Also, maybe I should also mention Racing Bulls, but Hajar wasn't quite up there as he could have been if the qualifying hasn't had well, I would be able to talk about it more if it was more recent. Obviously, I'm recording this almost 2 weeks after the Grand Prix. So yeah, I remember in qualifying that it wouldn't improve anyone. And they just stalled it, tracked right up, and Max was able to overtake, it was going to beat Carlos this time for pole position. And Jachar fell down the order. It was like right there with Lawson, I believe, P4 or P3 before the last runs in Q3. Yeah, so that's that. A tragic team. I think this definitely goes to McLaren. What were they doing? Both of their drivers had. I realized that Piastri had a magnificently worse week than Lando did, but Lando couldn't capitalize on his rival's mistake at all. He finished where he started the race somehow with a McLaren. That's yeah. Don't expect that often. I would say McLaren definitely takes it. There was some other teams like Ferrari that were mentioned, but I mean, yeah, McLaren was definitely the worst team. You don't expect Ferrari to do well in race. So that's 2 points after the first 2 rows. Qualifying P5 was okay. I'll go for my pole position. So pole position was Max Verstappen, P2 Carlos Sainz, P3 Liam Lawson. Wait, yeah, that's P4 and then P5 Russell. So no points for either of us. Qualifying race was following Max Verstappen, P1, P2 Carlos Sainz. Sorry, P2 George Russell, P3 Carlos Sainz, P4 also P5. I think you have to make it wrong anyway. Didn't get points either way, so it matters. My memory is correct at this point. Actual prediction when it comes to Ajax's Verstappen, Piastri, Norris, DNF. Only one of them did. So, like, 1.75 points. I don't know. That was actually wrong calculation. It should be like 1.77. But never mind. Anyways, free safety cars, I believe there was only one at the start of the PS3. Maybe we had another one. Like we have 3 because I remember that. And that's it, I believe, for predictions. I win this time around, 45 to 43 after the count. So yeah, I'm back in the lead of the championship. Interesting. Okay. Thank you for watching, for listening, for whatever interaction. It's been a couple of weeks, and probably will be as well for the future. Channel is not thriving, and these are tough times, so I appreciate every single bit of support that you give.